Austen Lane, ESPN 690 and Action Sports Jacks, bring you my three observations from this Jaguars-Titans game, this heartbreaker, this nail-biter. Jaguars lose 33-30 in Nashville. Let's just get right into it, man. This is going to be a hard one to get through, but there's a lot of positive actually to take away from this. So my first takeaway, my first observation, and this is a positive one, and it has to be really the biggest positive that we saw today and the biggest positive going forward now. And that is the evolution, and that is the play of one Gardner Minshew. I think today we saw Gardner Minshew take the next step forward into being the Jaguars starting quarterback for a long time. Now, yes, did he play a perfect game? Probably not, right? I mean, he had 2 interceptions. He took a sack towards the end of the first half that was very costly. But you talk about a guy who threw 3 touchdowns, 339 yards passing. I think he had right around 67% completion percentage. A solid day for Gardner Minshew. And if you want to talk about the evolution right now of the guy that I saw his rookie year going into his second year, what we've seen so far in these first 2 games, it's his ability to adapt and become comfortable in the pocket. I think we saw last year a little bit a guy who liked to use his wheels, create plays with his legs, obviously like that, but sometimes we saw that got him into trouble a little bit. Right now, what you have is a more calm, collected, and comfortable Gardner Minshew in that pocket. You see him step up, then he steps back, then he scrambles around. Needless to say, he's always keeping the play alive, but now the risks come down drastically because he has that pocket awareness, right? And I think if you're a defensive line trying to rush against this guy, it's an absolute nightmare. I compare it to Aaron Rodgers a little bit. When you pass rush Aaron Rodgers, you just can't throw all these games at him. You just can't do whatever you want to do because you have to maintain him in the pocket. If he gets outside the pocket, he's going to burn you. Minshew showed that today where whether he steps up, whether he rolls out, whatever the case may be, he's always looking to make the play. And if he can extend that drive, if he can extend that play, something special is probably going to happen. So props to Gardner Minshew today, for, I guess, increasing on what he showed us last year a little bit, but now taking it to the nth degree a little bit and showing us that pocket awareness. I thought it was fantastic. And also, a tip of the hat goes out to Jay Gruden as well. 2 games that have had great play calling so far. Now, I can't get ahead of myself just yet because I found myself doing the same thing to John DeFilippo last year a little bit. But so far, Jay Gruden has done a fantastic job implementing this offense. Getting every single wide receiver involved, it seems like. Eifert got involved a little more this week. And that's the cool thing that I'm seeing with this offense right now. It's fun. It's fun to watch this Jaguars offense. And that's something that you probably haven't said in a long time. Now, if you have the Jaguars offense on fantasy, if you have the fantasy receivers, you probably hate it because you don't know who's going to get the lion's share of the reps. You don't know who's going to get the lion's share of the touchdowns. And if you're a defensive coordinator, you hate it even more because now you got a game plan for Laviska Shenault. You got a game plan for Tyler Eifert. You got a game plan for Chris Conley, for DJ Chark, all these weapons. And anytime you have a team like that, you can have success. So I like what I'm seeing, obviously, from the offensive side of the ball and that, the receivers and things like that. And also, a big shout out goes out to James Robinson as well. I think he had over 100 yards rushing this game. Kind of tightened the Titans, if you will. The Jaguars' run game was great. It was sufficient, and most importantly, it set up the play action. What I love about James Robinson, and this is kind of a head nod to Doug Marrone a little bit. Doug Marrone told us what James Robinson was. Now, I, for one, didn't buy in wholeheartedly, but after 2 weeks, it's looking like Doug Marrone's been right now in terms of James Robinson's vision and his ability to fall forward after every single tackle. That's what Jacksonville's been missing here the past couple years. You've had okay running backs here and there, but it's the ability to fall forward. You don't take those tackle for losses. You don't set your offense behind with a 2nd and 12, a 2nd and 13. If James Robinson gets you 3 or 4 yards a pop on first down, that opens up so many more things on offense, and that's what we saw today. So shout out to James Robinson, a hell of a day, and I think Jackson might have one there for a while there. Second takeaway, second observation. This one's on more of the negative end, and it goes on special teams. Yes, Josh Lambo misses the extra point, something that we're not really accustomed to him doing, obviously. But the biggest probably talking point of this game, and the biggest talking point that we'll be addressing, obviously, on Monday, is the decision to kick a squib kick with about 12 seconds left in the second quarter. I don't understand this one. I'm going to be honest with you. If it was an onside kick, okay, maybe. But then again, like, why kicking an onside kick with 12 seconds left? You have the momentum kicking the field goal. If it was an onside kick, okay, you risk it for the biscuit. You lost. It is what it is. But this was a designed squib kick. Now, yes, Josh Lambo got unlucky a little bit because the guy in special teams for the Titans got the ball right away. Obviously, it was a missed kick from his standpoint. But my question is, why are we calling a squib kick with 12 seconds left in the first half? Right? Because what possibly good can come from it? I mean, you have a fraction of a percentage to bounce it off somebody and get the ball back. That's not how it works though in the NFL, right? So I don't understand the squib kick. The Titans end up recovering it close to the 50. They have one play, get inside to the Jaguars side of the field, and they kick a field goal towards the end of the quarter. That's a momentum crusher for the Jaguars, number one, but also that's a game crusher because the Titans won by 3. You take those 3 points off the board, and it's a whole new ball game. So I did not understand that squib kick at all. And then this comes down to the coaching decisions, right? You have a great offense right now. Your defense I'll get into in a second. But you cannot have this team be having detrimental plays like this in terms of your coaching decisions. Because you don't just have the makeup to recover from those. And unfortunately, it didn't seem like really that big a deal at the time. Ended up being the difference maker in the game. Now, yes, the game of football, it is more than one play. Don't get me wrong. But once again, you have to outweigh the pros and cons of kicking a squib kick right there. And obviously, regardless of what was going to happen, the cons outweigh the pros tenfold. So I did not like that squib kick. I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure if that was Joe DeCamillis' call, the special teams coach, who's a very great special teams coach. I played for him before. Nothing but respect for him. I'm not sure if that was a misfire from his call or if that was Doug Marone's call. But needless to say, not good on the Jaguars' end. My third takeaway, the defense. And you saw the game plan. You saw them stack the box, and the game plan was to stop Derrick Henry. And guess what? I think he had 25 carries, 84 yards. So for the most part, you stopped Derrick Henry. Congratulations. But let's be honest here. You also gave up 33 points. And this is where Ryan Tannehill and his 4 touchdowns, 233 yards or 39 yards, whatever it was, passing. This is where that comes into play a little bit. They missed Jared Wilson today. Jared Wilson is an underrated player in terms of what he does for that defense. We talk about a secondary right now. It's probably the youngest secondary in the NFL. And they just got younger, obviously, with Jared Wilson being put on that temporary IR or whatever like that. Jared Wilson playing that free safety spot. He's the center fielder. He calls out the coverages. He gets the guys in line in the back end, and that defense in the back kind of runs through him a little bit. He's a very intelligent player. Unfortunately, you missed him today, and you saw time and time again, whether it was Jonnu Smith, Corey Davis, these Titans receivers were having a field day, and they were getting balls thrown to them that were uncontested and that were too easy. So the secondary, obviously, it's a giant concern right now. And this, for the most part, this is a pass-first league. Now, you played a Colts team and you played a Titans team who probably wants to pound the rock first and run the football. And for the most part, in terms of the run game, you did okay. But when you start playing teams like the Texans, when you start playing teams that want to pass first, you could have some problems there. So obviously right now there's problems in that secondary, and those things have to get corrected. It's way too easy right now for offenses to drive down the field in the Jacksonville Jaguars. And when I say the secondary is at fault, I mean, it involves everybody, because I always say the defensive line and the secondary works together. In passing situations right now, I'm seeing a lot what I saw last year, and that's the fact that the defensive line cannot get home with 4 right now. Caleb Von Trason had a nice sack today. He showed off his speed, showed off his savvy. I want to see him on the field more. I'll be honest with you. I want to see him and Josh Allen on the field more. I understand that maybe you sacrifice stuff in the run game, but we need to see Chase on more. I don't care if it's 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, and maybe it's a play action. I don't care if it's maybe a run. We got to see Chase on the field more. And we said kind of the same thing last year a little bit with Josh Allen, right? You had Yannick Ngakoue starting, and you want to see Josh Allen more. I think we're about to come with the same problem right now, unless there's some adjustments on defense. Once again, defensive line in the run game, I thought did a pretty great job. But in the pass game, it's a different story. This has been my biggest red flag that I've said all year. when you lose Calais Campbell, when you lost Gunter for the season, and you have three techniques. Now, I thought Taven Bryan I thought that the three technique in the run game was okay. But this is the problem. When you don't have a three technique that is a viable beast in the pass rush, then offenses can game plan around stopping your edge guys, like Chase Young, like Josh Allen. Now, yes, when it's third and long, you can pin your ears back. You can bring out that NASCAR package. You can line up these exotic defensive fronts and everything like that and make sure you guys get to the quarterback. That happened with Chase Young. But when it's 2nd and 5, when it's 2nd and 6, and there's a possibility for a run or a play action or a quick pass, I'm not seeing a lot of rush on the three techniques right now, and I'm not seeing a lot of rush on the nose technique. And that's going to be a problem. It doesn't matter how good your edge rushers are. If you don't have that push in the middle, if you don't have the respect of the guys in the middle and offensive coordinators planning around them as well, you can chip with tight ends. You can double team guys like Josh Allen and Chase on all day if Chase on starts playing some more. So we got to see a better push. We got to see a better pass rush in the middle, getting after the quarterback. That's why they miss Calais Campbell right now, because Calais Campbell was the master of doing that. He always created pressure in the middle, and that would funnel the quarterback out to your defensive ends like Yannick Ngakoue and Josh Allen. Campbell's not here anymore, okay? The mayor is gone. He's in Baltimore now. Someone else has to step up and provide pressure in the middle and get after the quarterback. If not, the Jaguars might have some problems unless they start manufacturing blitzes getting after the quarterback. So either they find a third technique who can get after the quarterback a little bit, or you got to start blitzing a lot more. But you have to get pressure on the quarterback, especially with such a secondary right now who is young, inexperienced, and is struggling right now in that. Those are my three takeaways. Obviously, Jaguars fans, you're probably bummed right now. I'm bummed a little bit. This was a game the Jaguars could have easily won. Unfortunately, it didn't transpire like that. But you know what? At the end of the day, I watched a team in Jacksonville go toe for toe with the Tennessee Titans in physicality, in offense, and also in running back play more specifically. And I saw a quarterback who took steps forward, okay? And I saw a team rally on that quarterback. Now, yeah, it didn't end like you wanted it to. It ended on an interception. Horrible for Minshew, obviously, like that. Not a good look for Minshew. But you know what? I'm walking out of this game right now, and I'm a little more confident about this team. Week one, it's always kind of hard to tell what you have as a team. Especially with no preseason, you don't know what you got as a team. Week two, I think, kind of cemented the fact that we have a special offense right now, and we have a fun offense. We have a fantastic running game, and most importantly, I think we have a fantastic quarterback. And I think we have a quarterback right now who's deflecting, who's blocking all those Trevor Lawrence rumors out of town. So I like what I see there. On the other side of the coin, though, I think we know what we have right now in defense. We have a defense that's struggling. We have a defense that needs help. We have a defense that is bending, and sometimes they're breaking. And we have a special teams who, when put in positions to succeed, I think they will. So I think right now, heading into week 3 against the Miami Dolphins, Thursday night in Jacksonville, this team is a lot better than I think we expected to be. And I think Gardner Minshew is even a lot better than we expected him to be. And I had high expectations for Gardner Minshew. And so far, those expectations have been reached. The question now is, how does this young team handle adversity? How do they handle a team that they're supposed to beat on Thursday night? We're about to find out. Tune in Monday, ESPN 690 in Action Sports Jacks. We'll break it down. Y'all blessed one. Y'all stay casual.